Hey guys, it's Nick. Thanks for tuning in, and this is going to be a battle report, and I know I've been very absent on the YouTube and Google Plus community. Doesn't mean I've been absent from Warhammer. I've been playing 1 to 2 games a week and playing with my friends, our own little meta, of course, but in lieu of Anthony joining the dark side, I decided it is time for me to throw a battle report just so I can stick this in here. Welcome to Skaven. You have always wanted to be here as much as you always hated us. Deep down, this is where you belong and you know it. But also, make sure you're checking out everything else that's going on with the Warhammer YouTubers Google Plus page. Also, there's the PMP, that's Dylan Whoopie doing a Painters Motivating Painters. So check that out. And of course, if you're not already part of it, go to the Google Plus Warhammer YouTubers page to connect with everybody and see what else is going on beyond just the YouTube page. So let's get on into this battle report. So I am completely backlogged with about 10 to 15 battle reports. A handful of them are the GT from Crossroads, and I apologize because a lot of you guys want to see those. I'm going to get them up. I'm actually in the middle of transitioning to a different computer, and that's why I have not done that. But let's take a look at this list here. You're probably looking at this and saying, what the hell are you doing, Nick? Well, me, Ryan, Rich, and a bunch of my other friends, we've been doing small games, 1,000 points, 750 points, 1,250 points, and we just do these small games for shits and giggles. This way we can kick back and not worry about the stress that comes along with all of the GT games. Now that we're done with that, waiting for Crossroads in the spring, we've got some time. So I'm running a nice little fun Skaven list here at 1,250 points. I got a BSB. Nothing going on with him, just a shield. Then I've got a Plague Priest with a Dispel Scroll and Flail. So fairly simple game here with my heroes. I got the BSB does have the Storm Banner. I have 30 Storm Vermin with a banner and command and a item on the champ. He's fighting with a tail weapon. This way I just have enough points to meet min core, which is, I believe, 375 points. And then I have a Doom Flayer for shits and giggles because I'm going for an all Skaven combat-y list. I'm going to run up my enemy and see what happens. That's also why I've got the Storm Banner. So along with the Doom Flare, I've got some other subpar optimal selections here. I've got 6 Rat Ogres, so these guys are always nasty when they get into combat, if they get into combat. I've got 30 Plague Monks with the Plague Banner and a command, and then I have 6 Sensor Bearers, because why the hell not? These guys are fun, again, if they get into combat, but I gotta play my cards correctly. For more special, I also have 2 units of 5 Gutter Runners with nothing. They're just scouting, scrimmagers, maybe come on turn 2 or 3, maybe go throw some stars at something or go chase down some war machines. So not really too much of a plan there except to just get them on the field and go run around. This is a combat-oriented army, so having these guys in the backfield is always fun, and the Doom Wheel for good taste. And for my Plague Priest, I walk away with Pestilent Breath and Vermintide. So it's this gray area at this 1,000 point, 1,250 point level where do you bring a level 4 caster or do you bring a level 2 caster? And that's something that we've been kind of working out with our meta, because when you invest all those points in that one character, there's more troops on the field, but then you really don't survive in the magic phase. And to follow up with that, Ryan does bring a level 4 caster, which is going to be a real struggle for me in the magic phase. And as you can guess from the thumbnail, it is High Elves. So he's running lore of high magic, so he's got Fiery Convocation, Tempest, Hand of Glory, and Soul Quench. Wonderful spells for taking down Skaven easily. So you know my list, let's go through Ryan's. He's got a Noble with an extra hand weapon and some stuff. He's got a level 4 caster. He's got Archers, unit of 21. He's got 2 units of Fast Cap, a block of Phoenix Guard, and 4 Bolt Throwers, which is crazy. So he comes out to 1499, and I keep saying this is a 1250 game. This is actually a 1500 point game, by the way. And here is the battlefield. So you got Bolt Throwers on the back edge, the Phoenix Guard behind the 2 units of Fast Cav, and then the Archers to the left of the well. The Plague Monks were going to go in between the Doom Flare and the Sensor Bearers because they can actually use the rank bonus from the Plague Monks. However, the Plague Monks ended up over here because they can go deal with those Archers, because odds are the Archers will be able to shoot down the Red Ogres despite the wall that I can use for cover, and probably the Storm Banner because it can only last for so long. Hand of Glory will also help with getting some ballistic skill if Ryan decides to do that. So instead of using sneaky infiltrators, I decided to just drop these guys down in the scouting phase. I am 12 inches away, so I need a 6 to get to my opponent on 2 dice, so I should be able to take out these 2 Bolt Throwers pretty early in the game. So Ryan makes some moves with this Fast Cab. One unit is going to begin engaging with the Gutter Runners. After Vanguard, Ryan gets turn 1, so I drop the Storm Banner. So the fast cab by the bolt throwers do not move so they can get the least amount of shooting penalties, and the guys over to the left move around full so they can go deal with redirecting some of my frenzied troops. The Phoenix Guard pop up just a little bit. So Winds of Magic, Ryan rolls up a 5, a 4, and a 1, so I get 4 Dispel Dice against his 5 Power Dice, and he tries to get off Fire Convocation, and I have to scroll that, and then I am able to dispel another spell of his with my dice, but I just can't have these spells that are going to eat away all my rats. So over here in the shooting phase, these 3 bolt throwers and the 5 fast cav unload all their shots into the gutter runners, and he is actually able to kill 3, which causes a panic test, and leadership 7 isn't a good chance, so they decide to turn and run. With the storm banner up, I'm surprised he was able to even do that much. I mean, he needed like 6s and 7s to hit, but then again, once he hits, he's going to wound no problem. One guy on the right does die in that second unit of 5, but they pass, well, they don't have to take a panic test, so they'll be able to charge and kill that bolt thrower next turn, so I'm looking forward to it. So into Skaven turn 1, the Storm Banner unfortunately is just done, so I'm not going to have that protection any longer. So I do go ahead and roll a 5 when I needed a 6 to get to the friggin' bolt thrower, so these gutter runners are already useless, so I move up 3 inches. And here is the rest of the battlefield. Everyone else moves up full for the most part. The Doomflayer stays a little further back, this way if I do get engaged I can charge, and the Doom Wheel is going up past the forest. I go for Vermintide. This way I can hit the archers and the fast cav with one big sweeping blast. However, he does go ahead and scrolls it. So I do end up moving my sensor bearers too close to the Doom Wheel, and the Doom Wheel does go ahead and fail its leadership test, so I do zap 2 of them, which is pretty Skaven hilarious. And we go into Ryan's High Elf turn 2. The fast cab go ahead and move up to do some redirecting and slowing me down. However, I'll get into it. It's not as big of a deal. I'm actually happy with the way he arranged his troops, and you'll see why. Phoenix Guard decide, hey, I might as well back up. Rat Ogres and Storm Vermin at full strength aren't worth being, engaged with at this point, even though Phoenix Guard are pretty kick-ass. And that's it really for his movement. So he manages to get Hand of Glory off during the magic phase on these archers, and they end up getting +3 ballistic skills, so despite the obstacles and the cover from the unit and the fence in front of the rat ogres, he's going to be able to shoot at them pretty easily. So scared out of my pants, Ryan goes ahead to roll Fiery Convocation, and I've got 4 dice, he's got 5, he gets +4, I get +2, he's going to destroy my guys, but I actually roll high enough to dispel it, which is awesome, so no Fiery Convocation on my units of rats. Alright, so in the shooting phase, instead of shooting a bolt at the Doom Wheel, which was up to debate a good or a bad idea, because if I do go out of control I could get closer to him, which I would have liked, but then again taking the Doom Wheel out entirely would have been a good idea too, but he sends all 3 bolt thrower shots into the gutter runners, and he fails to kill them entirely. They panic and turn and run, but still, these bolt throwers did really poorly, and they will continue to do so, I must say. If I fail to mention that later, they do terrible this entire game. Even the archers do kind of poorly. They do go ahead and get a handful of hits with Hand of Glory onto the rat ogres, but when it comes time to wound, not a single 5 or 6. All 4s and under. Wonderful. This is great. So going back to that redirecting I mentioned earlier, I send just the Plague Monks in, and I leave the Red Ogres aside, and I actually can't do too much moving, so it forces him to close the door to me, which opens up a pathway perfectly for my Red Ogres to run forward. So the Doom Wheel does make a charge into the Fast Cav. They can't make a reaction because it's a random move. There are 2 sensor bearers left in the forest. Not sure what I'm going to do with them at that point. Maybe just redirect the Phoenix Guard. And even the Storm Vermin and the Doomflayer don't move ahead too far because I can't deal with the 2 heroes and that Phoenix Guard at full strength. So I got to get those Rat Ogres around to box in the Phoenix Guard, and then hopefully support with the Plague Monks once they catch up. So I'm kind of going to box in my opponent and hopefully kill him. But we all know 30 Storm Vermin are no match for 20 Phoenix Guard. So we do go ahead and get Vermintide during the magic phase, and that actually kills the fast cav, which is open to debate whether that was a good move or not, because now that I'm not fighting anything, there's going to be no overrun, which doesn't get me any extra movement. The overrun would have moved me into the red ogres, it would have been a little awkward, but losing that 6 or 7 inches of extra move might not have been worth it, but then again, they are dead, and that's just the end of it. So you can see here the fast cav go down by the doom wheel. I decide to not overrun. I'm not sure I remember why. I think when a random move shows up back on the battlefield, I don't think they're able to move, if that's correct. I'm not sure. However, I do want to be able to move, and even if he shoots at me and add control test, could send me flying to the Phoenix Guard, which, you know, I bank on those random crazy things happening because this is a fun match. So here for turn 3 for the High Elves, the Phoenix Guard go ahead and do a swift reform, turn around and run towards this position so they can support, I guess, the archers once the freaking rat ogres get in there and destroy them, and also that gives him some distance between him and the Doom Wheel. So a magic, he rolls up an 8, a 5, and then a 3. So I got 5 dispel dice against his 8 power dice. He does get Hand of Glory off, so the rat ogres are probably going to get hit terribly this turn since they're close, and it's going to be all 2s to hit. Hopefully he'll get some wounds this time. But I do dispel Tempest. That's I believe the large template weapon. Either way, I am able to dispel it with double 6s, so I'm really lucky. Again, I prevent my giant units of rats from getting killed. So into shooting, he's actually able to take a rat ogre down and do another wound, so that's not the end of the world. I should be able to get in next turn. For the rest of shooting, though, all 4 bolt throwers miss. They all try to take single shots at the doom wheel, all 4 miss. It's pretty sad. Hysterical for me, sad. But that allows me in Skaven turn 3 to send my doom wheel into that left bolt thrower in a position that would force me to overrun into the other 2. So that's excellent. The rat ogres make it in, however, counter shooting. Ryan did enough wounds to knock off 2 more and deal 2 wounds to the third guy, so I'm really down to like 2 rat ogres, which is nuts because he's going to have always strike first and reroll missed hits, and it's just not going to be pretty. In Magic, I try to get clever and do Vermintide, so I hit both of his units. Unfortunately, this also hits mine, which wasn't the best idea, but I'm like, you know what? Toughness 4 rat ogres, strength 2 attack. I shouldn't kill any of them. But you know what? I barely do any damage to the archers. I roll terribly against the Phoenix Guard, and they already have a 5 up than a 4 up, so it does no wounds. I end up doing more damage to myself. So I force myself to lose yet another rat ogre. So I've got the master bred, and there's just a regular trooper sitting there, so I really screwed myself here. I had this full unit of freaking rat ogres, and then I'm down to nothing. So, not looking as good as it was before. I still have my opponent boxed in, but the Phoenix Guard are at full strength until I can get a breath weapon with Pestilent Breath on him, or a Vermintide, or the Doom Wheel doing some impactor hits or something. It's not looking too good. I do let the Doom Wheel keep going though. I kill the first bolt thrower on impact, and then I roll right on into the second one. And with the archer unit, I am unable to even get any attacks onto him because he's got, he's hitting me on 3s and 4s, depending on which model he was attacking, because the Master Bred actually has weapon skill 4. But either way, 3s or 4s to hit, and then re-rolling missed hits, he had to do only like 4 wounds. He's able to do exactly 4 wounds, so the rat ogres are dead without any attacks going on to them, which blows. That leads us into High Elf turn 4. You can see the archers and the Phoenix Guard do go and back up a bit, so they're in a pretty defensive position here. With nothing to shoot at and the chance to prevent being destroyed by the Doom Wheel, the other bolt thrower moves forward 5 inches. Without having a +4 to dispel and him getting a +4 to cast, or +5 I guess because of high magic, I forget when they get the +1 to cast, whatever, but I'm pretty sure they get it for high magic. So he is really blowing away these spells. Hand of Glory gets off again. I denied Tempest, but he does go ahead and get Fiery Convocation onto my Storm Vermin, which blows. I do have heavy armor and shields, so that 4 up reduced to a 5 up will be hopefully useful. He does kill 12 guys, 13 guys, which is suiting. He does get it on double 6s though, so he will get a miscast, but he only kills like a Phoenix Guard. No big deal. His caster is fine. The archers peel off 6 Plague Monks. And then we head into Skaven turn 4, and this is what I'm left with. My Storm Vermin are just kind of moving up. I really can't engage the freaking Storm Vermin, the Phoenix Guard because I'm reduced in numbers. I don't have that attack that I had planned where I boxed him in. I thought I was in a good position boxing him in, but either way, if I sent everything into the Phoenix Guard, the 5-up armor, the 4-up ward save, or 3-up ward save, I should say, because he keeps getting high magic spells off, it would have been hard to kill these things even with the Doom Wheel and the Doom Flare and the Rat Ogres or Plague Monks, so I really didn't have the spells or tools to lower the Phoenix Guard to a point where I can kill him. The Plague Monks do make their charge successfully into the archers, and the Doom Wheel I decided instead of sending after the last bolt thrower, I'll send him towards the Phoenix Guard because, hey, I need as much as I can. The Plague Monks go ahead and use the Plague Banner and destroy the archers. I was kind of hoping to panic the Phoenix Guard, but hey, leadership now with the reroll, not going to happen. So I am forced to run off the table, and this is what it looks like when I come to return. I am somehow able to dispel Fiery Convocation. I think I just rolled a 19 with like the few dice that I did have. So High Elf turn 5, the Phoenix Guard do go ahead and face the Doom Wheel in case he does go ahead and makes a charge into them successfully. Plague Monks aren't actually there yet because they've not returned, so they are not a threat. He gets a solid Soul Quench onto the Doom Wheel and rolls up, I guess, what is it, 17? 17 hits there. I believe Strength 4, so he's going to need 6s to wound. I failed the 1 or 2 armor saves I need to make. I roll a 1 on my uncontrolled test, and I decide to turn and run the opposite direction back towards the bolt thrower, which I was avoiding. I figured maybe the gutter runners that did rally, I failed to mention. I figured the gutter runners can go after the bolt thrower, but nope. Doomwheel wants to go backwards. Hey, if I did the out of control test right into those Phoenix Guard, did some impact hits, did some wounds, that would have been wonderful. But nope, not the case. So one of the 2 remaining bolt throwers does take the Doom Flayer down. A piece of useless machinery this game. I have a lot of that useless stuff between that and the gutter runners and the rat ogres didn't make it anywhere. I, wanted to bring some fun stuff. Oh, the sensor bearers, they got shot down somewhere. I really barely talked about them. So an opportunity in Skaven turn 5 for the gutter runners to redeem themselves. I'm about 9 or 10 inches away from the bolt thrower. I go ahead and roll snake eyes, so I fail yet another charge. So they pop forward an inch and do not make it into combat with the freaking bolt thrower. Which forces me to do this. I just have to go after the bolt thrower with the freaking Doom Wheel instead of sending him back towards the Phoenix Guard. So I scoop up the points with the Doom Wheel, but I'm not going to have enough support to take out the Phoenix Guard. These guys do a swift reform to face the Phoenix Guard. This way, when they turn around, they can magic me to death, and then maybe I'll make a charge. I do not have the bodies. Obviously, the Phoenix Guard just totally outrank me, both in ranks of actual ranks, but also as in skill and stats and equipment. I do have my Plague Priest, which packs a punch, but unless I can kill a BSB or the level 4 caster, it's not going to be worth it. So turn 6 is cleanup duty for Ryan. He goes ahead and turns around the Phoenix Guard and the level 4 caster. He goes ahead and irresistible forces the Soul Quench spell, which I just kind of hope this is like the 3rd irresistible force I think he gets this game. I'm just hoping that he just blows up or gets sucked to the warp or his guys will die. But no, he takes like a single little small template and yeah, he wounds a bunch of guys, but they're all on a 3-up freaking ward save, so these guys are like impossible to kill even when they blow themselves up. But I do go ahead and lose a handful of my Plague Monks. He does one more spell, I forget what it is, but now I'm just left to the Plague Priest, and the Plague Priest is going to have to run in and try to kill the level 4 hero, which he fails to do. The Doom Wheel and the Storm Vermin are coming around, but at this point in the game, the Plague Priest dies, and I really have no plan on attacking the Phoenix Guard at full strength with like 11 Storm Vermin. So I give Ryan the game. It was a fun game, and that's what it is. I brought some stupid stuff. Ryan brought, yeah, freaking Phoenix Guard. OP, I hate them since day one. Since 5th edition, to be more exact. I think they're crazy with their 4 board saves. Yeah, they're toughness 3. Yeah, the right unit or combination can knock them off the table, but 3+ board save is just tough with anything. But we had fun. I brought some crazy shit. It was a fun, different list, and I know some people aren't really into this. They want to see the best list that you can get out there and what's going on in the meta. But you know what? For me, lately Warhammer's just getting some units on the field and seeing what can happen, see what works, what doesn't, have some fun with it. And I've got minus the like 5 GT games, I've got about like 10 battle reports that are like 750 points, 1,000 points, 1250, some 1,500. Just these small random games, and they're fun, and it's what I need right now because just the way GW is going with Warhammer is not what I'm really looking for. It's maybe what some people are looking for, but this is still a game I've always loved, so I got to play it the way I love it, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if I get back on the scene sooner than later, maybe I'll try to pop out as many of those backlogged battle reports as I can. I'll see you in the next one.